as you wake up.
Vivian.
What?
Why do you always talk to me like that? Immediately.
What do you mean always talk to you like that?
Like you wish I wasn't here.
That's not true.
Yes, you do.
I'm talking to you like this now because of what happened yesterday.
Sure.
I don't
How's
always
that?
talk to you like that.
Perhaps not. I'm sorry.
For?
Being rude to you yesterday. I'm sure there's more that I can apologize for. But I guess I'm a coward. And I cannot bring myself to apologize that much in a single day. Not because I'm embarrassed or ashamed, but because I do not believe it would be genuine. I once heard from a satyr that apology is meaningless for the person you are apologizing to, and it is only for you. And you must atone through your actions. And that is what I'm trying to do. You may not look it. And sometimes it gets the better of me, because if that is true, I don't know what action could possibly atone for some of my actions. I hope you all bear with me as I navigate my own mind.
I have been.
I know.
I have been this whole time. Since the beginning.
I know.
I want to be on your side.
It's hard to be on my side.
I know. Because you don't have a lot of people there. You make it really hard.
If you were born with the sole purpose of making slaves feel okay about being slaves, and all you heard your entire life was that you were to beat a god, the only time you ever got to go outside was sneaking out and playing an ocarina in a bar wearing a different face. Your mother never saw you, and your father wasn't allowed to go into your house. I understand that your upbringing has been rough as well, but I'm older than you, and this was beaten into me, quite literally, at times. You crawled from a pit, and had no socialization.
The mark of your goddess was carved into my back. We all have a sad
I remember
story.
it happening.
I wonder why.
I remember
Is it
seeing my
because-
father spit on, turning away from me, because if he looked at me, he would be killed. I saw those marks carved into other drow. And I saw the pits you crawled from. I saw women willingly turned into half-spiders that I should ride into battle, whipped into submission. I was kept in a room. No one looked at me. Used as an icon for a lie. A lie that I believed, because it's all I had. I come up here after running from my supposed destiny, failing, not even getting a single blow on him, not coming close, witnessing my mother, the only person that treated me with kindness, but even still, morphed into a being that I did not even recognize, only to have her later stand guard as I tried to kill myself by bashing my head against the stone for 3 months. Don't you dare. Remembering is far worse. I did not tell you that I was drow, and I understand that that still stings. But you saw my city, or you saw a city of our people. And the last time I saw a female drow, they did not look kindly upon me. So when I saw you, a pygmy of the monsters that I once saw, I do not know. My first inclination was not to come out as drow to you, for fear that you would treat me like them.
That's an awful excuse.
Yes, well, you're an awful excuse for a wizard. I care not what you think. I do not seek empathy from the woman that would sooner raise more allies than make some.
All right, Dagomarus.
What?
You
want pity?
You apologize in one breath. You explain everything you came from. And then you say you don't want empathy when you're using it as excuses for the reasons that you treat everyone around you like garbage.
Like garbage?
I don't care.
Like garbage?
Yes. You knew within the first couple days of me coming out of the earth that I wasn't like the drow that you knew. That I wasn't anything. You knew that.
What?
So sure, you might not have revealed yourself to me right at the beginning.
Necromancy. Do you expect pity? You say I treat people as garbage. What do you do with garbage, Vivian? You throw it away. You've thrown away more allies than I. So who is treating someone like garbage here?
Who taught me to throw away my allies, Dagomarus?
What are you talking about?
What did you do to Faye?
Faye died to bears.
I didn't have
What did I do to Faye?
any connection.
What did I do to Faye?
You burned him?
I tried
You
to burn
threatened
his
him?
body. It did not
I'm
work.
not talking about burning his body.
Do you not
I was
understand
scared of
where I
him.
came from?
Yes, I know. You
There was a
said it
beholder
time and
chained
time.
in front of the gate that
You
I
can
was,
say all the
who tried
terrible
to
things
eat
you
me.
went through every time. It doesn't excuse the way you treated all of us.
What are you talking
You were
about?
the first
It was
one
a reason I did not
saw.
want an excuse, Vivian. But at least I did not go around acting as if I couldn't learn a different magic, even though I'm a wizard. Literally taught how to learn different schools of magic, you weak, slimy little worm. I was born into a warrior's race, in which I was taught that if someone was weak enough to roll in front of me, that I was to burn the enemy, for I was taught to protect my people. What were you taught? Nothing. Nothing but pain. Puppeting. Puppeting spirits and souls within husks. What did I do? I made one mistake. How many humans have you slain? Many. I've slain none. So who is the villain here, Vivian? And how dare you get on a high horse to me? You look at me, and even now, thinking that you have won. Well, if my mother was here now, she wouldn't have run from me 3 times. What? Do something. I dare you, Vivian.
I cared about you a lot at the beginning of all this.
I'm sure you did. And I still care about you, Vivian, because you are one of my
No,
people.
you don't.
I do.
You care about...
I just do not pretend to care about other people. I may be blunt, and I may be rude and brash, but at least I do not hide under the facade of a tiny little girl with no choice but to use vile magic.
You weren't there for most of the journey, Dagomarus.
No. What was I doing? What was I doing, Vivian? Was I enjoying myself? Was I really, really seeping in all of the joy of the world? No, Vivian, I was not. My arms and legs were chopped from my body.
I know. You can say your story over and over again. I've heard it all. Over and over again. Dagomarus. You have only cared about me. Because all you want to do is protect your people.
No, that is not true.
And if you could protect me, then
Why do you...
I was one thing that you wouldn't fail at.
What are you talking about, Vivian?
You've never cared about me.
That is not true. In fact, you were the first person or the first drow that I ever truly cared about, other than a select few that didn't even know who I was in the Underdark. You simply only think that because you express caring in a much different way.
How do you express it, Dagomarus?
Well, Vivian, last I recalled, I saved your life on multiple occasions.
Is that all that counts?
No, it's not. But there are multiple other people that I have not. I have not risked my life for many others, and you know damned well that I wouldn't. Just because I do not express caring in the same way that you do does not mean that I do not. If I did not care, do you think I would stick with you?
Yes.
Do you think that I would go? No, I would not. I would commit suicide by going into the Underdark so that I could kill as many of those rats as I could. Because I cannot for Hector Dollhouse. I do not. I spent weeks traveling with him. I did. And he was kind in his own way. I understand that. But there are things that I care about far more. So why, again, do you think I travel with you, Vivian?
Like I already said, Dagomarus.
To save my people.
Of the few that remain, yes.
You are not one of my people. And that is a good thing. So why again?
You think you would have treated me a little better along the way then?
Why? For once, I was able to enact my power.
Yes.
And I did, selfishly so. But I've apologized for that. Have you apologized for any of the things that you have done?
Yes, I have.
You have? That is good. Did they forgive you?
No.
Then I suppose we are both cursed. I do not need you to accept my apology. But you are blind to think that you have it so bad. Perhaps...
When have I ever said that, Dagomarus?
When have you not?
You think I have it... When have I ever compared?
Frequently saying, well, I don't have a choice. this was the power that was given to me. Or what else? Everybody leaves me, you say. Or the face you get when animals recoil, or the plant life around you diminishes. All of these things, you whimper as if you are not fully in control of those outcomes. You have made choices just like me, and yet you throw Faye in my face. I did not hate Faye Landrisil. He was unfortunate that he met me as soon as he did, as I came out from the blistering pit of war and agony that I came from.
And so was I.
I'm sure you were. You would have died long ago if not for me and Faye, and you know that.
I don't.
You do, Vivian. Deep down in your heart, you know. You may hate me.
I don't.
You may resent me for many things. But one thing you cannot escape, Vivian, is that I molded you into something that was able to survive. And you know this. You are weak, and you still are deep within you. All you want to do is crawl into a ball onto Hector's lap. And you've always wanted to do that. And I know this. And there's nothing wrong with that, Vivian. However, you were not ready to crawl into anybody's lap. And yet, that is your instinct. And your instinct would have gotten you killed if not for me.
I'm sure you have a lot of perspective on what it takes to raise somebody. I'm sure you have a lot of perspective on all the different ways you can survive, Dagomarus.
I do.
I'm sure no one else could have taught me anything except you, Dagomarus.
When did I say that? You're putting words into my mouth. Creating arguments out of thin air. Last I checked, I have more memories of living a happy and good life than you. Last I checked, I spent 3 months here, living amongst everybody else.
I wasn't talking about... Pick one.
Who has more
I was
perspective?
talking about the beginning of all of this. You had crawled out just the same as I did.
We are not talking about me back then. I've apologized for my transgressions. I believe that you treat me too harshly, Vivian, especially now. There are reasons to my actions.
I implore you, Dagomarus, how do you think you treat everyone else around you?
Poorly, Vivian.
Yes.
But I admit it!
Does it make it better?
No, yes, it does!
You say sorry through gritted teeth because you've learned at least that you have to, or else you'll have another Titus on your hands, but do you actually mean it?
Another Titus on my hands. I did not know that liking men was such a bad thing for humans. All I saw was homosexual relationships in the Underdark. I did not realize it was bad, so I said that in an attempt to appeal to them. I know that explanation would not go over well with Titus, but I did not do so viciously. I did. Titus liked me. And I liked him. Not in that way, but I was his friend. Or I thought I was. And I thought if I said that, he would back me up with it. And he would agree. It did not go that way. I did not do so maliciously.
And then you abandoned both Faye and I after you got free.
I thought you were dead.
After for Servius.
I thought you were dead. You were not brought into the prison.
You didn't look.
Why would I? Why would I look?
You didn't
Why
know.
would I linger in
Why
that
did
city?
you think I was dead?
Why would I think you were dead? Because I heard your screams outside of the prison as you were stabbed multiple times. Last I saw you, you were carried on Faye's shoulder, unconscious. Why would I think you were dead? Are you serious? Do you think I am omnipotent? Do you think I am stupid? I was given a mission by an archmage to get to Tristfall and have counsel with the king. And I was certain you were dead. And the extent of my disguise, I know now, could only go so far. And I would hope you have more perspective, now that we both know that Titus could have just seen through my disguise, and I'm sure he would have loved to see me after that moment anyway. So perhaps you rethink your disdain of my decision then. I did not abandon you. I'm such an evil villain, so easy to pin everything on. Is that right? Do you think I am the only one to blame for Titus Smirkwood?
No.
Did you speak up when I hid the key from him? Did you? Did you, or Faye? Did you? I'm answering you a yes or no question. Did you?
No.
Did you bring the head into Heimdall's?
Yes.
You did.
Did you say anything?
No, I did not.
Did
Because I was
Faye
ignorant as well.
say anything?
But guess what?
I didn't say anything about the key because I trusted your judgment.
We were both wrong, but never once have I ever blamed you entirely. Many times you have blamed me for all your misgivings. Please, make the journey again. Make the journey from that inn all the way to Heimdall's without me. See how long you get. See how far your travels get you. Please.
I suppose you did teach me how to survive at the beginning of it.
Yes, I did.
I suppose you did help me.
I did. And never once did I beat you down with your species. I left it alone because of my own fear. But you lack empathy, Vivian. And so you do not see that. You do not see that I could be afraid of how you would treat me after seeing how Faye treated you. Someone you speak so highly of, who threatened your life after seeing you. I did not say if you stepped out of line, I would do anything. But a phrase I had heard many times before come from my own people. People that look very much like you, if not but a few feet taller.
Many times, Dagomarus.
Not for your species. I threatened you
Sure.
for being stupid.
That makes it much better.
It does. It does, Vivian. It really does. Because I threatened you for things that were legitimate. I told you not to step out of line. I told you not to step out of line because I was afraid as well. Because you have no sense of civilization, no sense of law at the time, no sense of what was right and wrong, no sense of anything. You were a baby. And I was a bad father. I understand that fully. But I was far from the worst. And I did what I was taught. I ordered you. And I tried to intimidate you. Because I thought that was the best course of action. And I regress on that frequently, and I do not ask for all of your forgiveness at once. All I ask that you do is that you stop treating me so poorly. And you say you do not treat me so poorly, but I see it behind your eyes. You do not need to say everything verbatim. You do not need to say, Dagomarus, you are swill. You are pissed for me to see it behind your eyes, behind your veil, that you hide so fervently behind. I bear my face.
Do you think perhaps that you see a little too much of your oppressors in me? Do you think that maybe I'm a little short with you because I still haven't gotten over what happened? Is it really such a grand thing that I think you're piss? That I think you're dirt beneath my feet? Or am I reminded sometimes about how you hurt me and how I still haven't healed from that? I am not them.
Try a bit harder to heal then, for what I did to you is nothing. Truly, it is nothing. If you really think about it, Vivian, how was I supposed to have perspective? I had none. I was lost, just as you. I cannot take full responsibility for raising a child after just being... I'm not making excuses, I'm giving you reasons, Vivian. You cannot put the burden of your development upon me. It is beyond unfair. I had not fully developed myself. I had this new world thrust upon me, and the second person I see is a reminder of what I failed to protect, while simultaneously being a reminder of what oppressed me for the past 53 years. I'm sorry if I was not perfect, Vivian, but I was far from imperfect.
I hope you're happy with that explanation.
I am.
I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna grab my bag.
Vivian, what are you doing?
I'm stepping away.
Why?
I wasn't perfect, but I was far from the worst. I can't do anything with that.
When you treat me worse than people who have actually wronged you.
The first time you saw me in Tilia, you said all I was doing was chasing after a father figure.
That is not what It was in the sprouts of Theodosia. But there have been many other times that you are forgetting. When I first saw you, after getting out of the Underdark, I embraced you.
Yes.
I embraced you, and I apologized.
And yet now we have this conversation.
And yet now we have this conversation
like you really know
because no
what's
matter
going
what
on.
I do, you treat me the same, Vivian. There's nothing I can do.
What do you have to say about how everyone else feels? Is that all their fault too?
No. Their opinions of me. They see me through a lens. And that lens is one that I have created. But they have very little perspective as well. One is a child. And I might have gone a bit overboard when I threatened to kill him. But I cannot change who I am in a year. I cannot change who I am. That is how I lead people. I see him leading astray by a monster as I was. And so I threaten him. I intimidate him. That is not good. I know it. But you cannot expect me to just change. And you, Theme? I am surprised his wrist is not perpetually glued to his forehead. What does that man have to worry about? What perspective does he have? Oh, my family is gone. All of us are! Judging me. How dare he? How dare he judge me? He saw what remains of my people. And yet he looks at me as if I'm again a villain. What right do all of you have? What right? Are you all morally superior?
No.
You are not. So stop acting like it. Allow me to grow, as everyone around you has allowed you to grow needlessly. Again, you yank souls from the ground and use them as your meat puppets against their will as they come screaming from the rivers immortum. And you are not looked upon nearly as badly as I am because I am loud and a bit brash.
That's an understatement.
And calling your magic vile is an understatement, Vivian.
I already know that.
Think long and hard, Vivian. For you are the villain of this story, not I.
And you can feel good that you had a hand in shaping that villain. I'm not saying it was all your fault. I'm not saying I didn't make my own decisions.
Yes, I did. And that is something that I am trying to atone for in my actions. Just as everything else that I did.
Try harder. I only have the patience to be hurt by you so many times.
Hurt by me. How have I hurt you, Vivian? Truly.
I don't have to go through it again. I've already been talking about it this entire time, Dagomarus.
Then I will follow the Stator's advice, and I will constantly work to atone until everyone believes that I have atoned. For that is all I can do. Because unlike you, I have 2.5 months left to live. All I can say is that I hope the angle you view me 6 feet under is nice from your high horse as I die for the sins of all of us, not just me. You can leave now.
I'm gonna go.
Okay.